Sweet. We've got footage from this past Monday, which, as always, packed mat, so it was good to see. Um, yeah, let's get into it. Working on mount this week, so let's see what you guys are putting to work. Is that a Jason, Steven?
No, Duncan.
Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at Mitch getting funky.
Mm-hmm.
If only he had a gi on Luke. That would have been pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Typical entrance to, not a typical entrance, but a good rolling entrance to a bow and arrow with a gi on. Look at Austin trying to get under Caleb's hips here. This is really good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's difficult enough to do with the size difference, but...
Oh, for sure.
Got the right idea. What's up, James? What's up, Caleb? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
So much going on. Let's look at Steven and Duncan here. So Steven's in kind of this... I don't know. You would know better than me. I mean, it's an open guard, but like... Is that what people call K-guard? I never quite locked that down.
I don't know. I see that as like a scissor sweep, setup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's got a name or not. If that's K-guard, sure.
Yeah. I like Duncan's movement around that top knee.
Yeah, it's
I heard Steven
not easy.
Steven was just trying to get into the buggy choke.
Maybe. It's not easy getting around this guard.
No. And like from more of the studying I've done on this buggy choke, yeah, I think Steven's now, well, he's lost the angle on it, but like initially Steven was facing away from Duncan's hips. You really want to be turned in towards him more. And that's just me totally regurgitating what the Rotolos say. I am not a buggy choker, so. Yeah, James, we got a new guy training with us, Daniel, who you can check out some of his savagery on some of the previous streams. But yeah, he's a beast, big dude, really good purple belt, a lot of competition experience. Good guy to have in the squad.
Yeah, he didn't train this night. He trained, I think, last Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Let's look at what Steven's got going on here. I didn't see how Steven quite got here. So, all right.
Heavy pressure on the back of the head.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because like, I mean, at a glance, Duncan has like, I don't want to say an advantageous position on it, but he's got, not just an underhook, but like his head under the arm. He's working against Steven's legs here, but he doesn't have any, well, I mean, he has some control over Steven's hips. I think if his elbow was like a little bit lower down Steven's body, maybe he could have prevented this, but honestly, I don't know if he exactly saw it coming. Steven hit it quickly, nice hip heist up. I liked it. Go ahead.
So what Duncan was doing was at what I think is called the Sao Paulo pass, right? Like, isn't that the Sao Paulo pass where you sprawl super heavy down onto the legs and close guard? It's a very old school way to to basically pass close guard, right? You open the close guard and you walk right around it.
Yeah, I'm honestly not terribly familiar with that one either. I've heard of it. I've seen it done.
Yeah. But I think the key to that pass is you see like Steven has Duncan's hips trapped, right? I mean, he's in closed guard. Steven is,
Hmm.
and in order for this to start happening or to work in Duncan's favor, like you're saying, is that his elbows need to come down and start blocking the hips of Steven to start prying open the knees, and then the body, his lower body would then, put pressure on one of the sides and start walking around. And here he's too high. It's just a little too high, and that's where Steven is able to work around the body here.
Yeah. And I like that he goes up top for the armbar.
Yeah.
Here, like this
That's
is
nice. Head over, or leg over the head. Boom. Let's see if there's a finish here.
I think he rolls him.
Yep. A little assist.
Good from Duncan.
Yep. Good composure. Very nice. It gets popped back down.
You got a fan of your wardrobe in the chat.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Joe.
Killer.
Oh, he switched from an armbar to a knee bar.
Yeah, I was wondering there for a second what his intentions were when he started hooking the legs here, but that makes sense.
I mean, normally you hook the legs here to prevent the person from bridging into you.
Right.
Right. If you got an armbar secured on the top half, and you're very worried about not being able to put enough pressure down on the head in order to prevent the person from coming up, you can hook the near side leg. But you can see that Steven hooked the near side leg first because he was thinking about it, but then he was like, I think I can get the knee bar from here, and then he just immediately switches right in. Bam.
Yeah. Really solid.
Yep.
Let's go back. See what Caleb and Austin are getting themselves into. I think Caleb was working a step over, yeah.
Austin doing a good job trying to grab the head and sprawl back. I know Austin was probably already doing that, but if he wasn't, really want those legs sprawling way back. That looked good. Even though you get swept out of there, it's better than getting stuck in a knee bar.
Yeah, for sure. Just curious what happened with Cole and Sean up here, just above them, right up in the corner. Great movement from Cole.
I love that. I really do. It's something I was going to go over in class tomorrow. Is if somebody's playing sort of like a defensive approach into a guard, how you can start wrestling up and turning it into an offensive movement.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like here for a second he's thinking, classic like hip bump sweep, right? Mm-hmm. Because he's disengaged, or rather not disengaged. He has his legs open. He's got the arm cross body, looking like he's about to hip heist, like right here. Mm-hmm. And then he quickly switches back to a guillotine, hip heists up, working the front headlock, switch to the back. That's solid. Yeah, and that's kind of the dangers of just playing this like passive closed guard. If you get caught trying to like catch your breath or think about what you want to do next, I don't know what Sean was what his intentions were or what he wanted to try, but like developing that sixth sense for maybe when your opponent has opened their closed guard, or making some of your guard breaks a bit more automatic, can help get you out of sticky situations like that. It looked like he just got caught thinking.
For sure. Yep. Can you go back to the beginning? Pat was going for and looking at Pat and Joe over here, and since Joe's in the chat, I just wanted to call it out. So prior to this, he had basically a side body lock here.
Do I take it back even further?
Right here is totally fine. So Joe, in this situation, I've been working on this a lot lately. But in this situation, you're actively going to your left hand side, right? And and it seems like, and honestly is the right thing to do. But what you should be focused on, instead of purely getting to your left hand side, is getting under the head of Pat and taking his head to the same side of the body that he's attempting to pass. So naturally, you could see that in order for Pat to pass your guard, his head has to be on the opposite side of his legs. And you can really stifle somebody from passing the guard. It's not 100% cure. But if you were to take your right arm, underhook the head, and start bringing it over to that side, and it really gives you a lot of space to re-guard if you wanted to, or to just get enough space to maybe start wrestling up and getting on top in your own way. It's something that I've been playing around with quite a lot lately in training. I don't know, Matt, what do you do in that situation?
No, that's a huge thing I rely on with body locks. Even like a front body lock pass, when someone kind of telegraphs to me which way they are looking to go, like maybe they, I'm in a butterfly guard, they, kick their leg back and stuff one of my butterfly hooks, my heel to my butt, but then my other leg is free now, right? They've shelved my leg with their two legs. That tells me that they're going around to that side where like my leg is caught. So I focus early on keeping their head on that side of my center line. So if they show me that they're going to come around to my right, I bully their head all the way over to the right side of my body. And if you think about it, what you're really doing there is completely like denying them the very definition of side control, which is a cross-side pin, hips on one side, head on the opposite side. If you take their head and put it on the same side as their hips, they're no longer pinning you, right? Well, they're no longer using a cross-side pin or a side control. So you're fundamentally disrupting the entire definition of what they're trying to do. And it, with some people, like, I'm not advocating, like a big slap across the face as you chop them over, but like you really got to take their head offline, right? You're moving their whole upper body, so you got to get some, put some oomph into it.
You might be able to see that with me and Luke training here in a few rounds.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, space. I was using all muscle and post to slow down. Yeah, I really don't have post. Yeah. Play around with it, man. Just see, see what kind of help you get from that. Let's see. We've seen all this. Well, you see what Steven said? Matt hits a hip pump sweep on him. So good that he felt bad.
Yeah. Luke and Mitch were getting rowdy. Me and Brandon had to keep readjusting. I think they kept going all the way over by the round timer and then all the way back to us. They were all over the mats.
Yeah, it's just best to get out of their way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's something you don't really try to pull rank on. Like, the higher belts are rolling. Let's move so they don't have to. It's like, nah, who's bigger?
Yep.
Who do I not want to clash heads with or have them step on my leg?
Yeah, get kicked in the face. Yeah.
Let's look at Cole. So Cole and Sean. Cole's on his back right now. He's got at least one underhook, and then all the way over the back with his other. Sean steps over into half guard, butterfly hook. Nice. Pretty simple. I would say messy, not by any fault of either one. It's just like kind of a scrambly sort of sweep here. Sean, I think, has got a little off balance. Cole takes full control of that, gets his hook, plants his foot, just like we like to see.
He's got a head and arm, right?
Yeah.
No. I
Well,
don't know what he's got.
He had his head under the arm. It looks like in this transition he snuck it under right there.
That's right. That's what it was. Yep. To block the leg, probably. He was trying to probably tap the thigh and keep it from basing out.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yep.
Who's that? Matt and Sean.
Matt and Sean. Yeah. I think they're just going over stuff. I don't know that they're training.
This will be fun. I'd like to see how Cole handles Ryan's more like De La Hiva. I feel like Ryan's game is a bit it's more loose. I mean, he likes to work on his inversions and stuff.
Well, he's got his back. He's got Cole's back right now.
Yeah. Caleb, you piece of shit. Commit to that, man. I want to see you toss Luke.
I did that too. It's gonna be funny to watch.
I'm just looking at Ryan again. So Ryan threatens the armbar. It looks like he gets Cole down, based out, takes us back that way. We got Brooke and Austin getting after it. I mean, Caleb had like for a second there, he had like a lat drop opportunity. That's your problem, man. You got to commit. Don't bail. Right? It's just drilling. It's just open mat.
He grabbed me and said I'll sit down.
Good movement from Ryan, focusing on getting around Cole's arm, right? Essentially getting both of Cole's arms on the same side of Ryan's body, exposing the back. And now it's time to work in your, got to set up your game, get your hips under control, or his hips under control, rather. He switches to mount. Matt just throwing up arm bars like nothing. So let's watch Luke do Luke stuff and handle a half guard.
Yeah, so curious to see if he's going to do it again. Nope, he's going for the far side leg. This is the step over. But now he's in cross ashi.
To the Texas Cloverleaf. Ryan giving Cole a little bit of taste of his own medicine from before, right? So working this.
Yep.
Not the same leg configuration that Cole had on Sean, but that back take isn't working. Switching to the front headlock, trying to work from there. How did Caleb get on Luke's back?
He was working around.
Just working turtle.
Yeah. It's an awkward angle. Ryan and Cole, but now he's got his hook in.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I think he did this before too. He doesn't have a strangle arm, and it honestly doesn't look like he's trying too hard to set up a strangle arm. Like right now he has his left hand in a place where it might turn into one, but he pummels it out. It looks for almost like sort of a crossbody grip, the kind you would use in a crossbody ride, but he doesn't have the lower body control in the same fashion. So he starts losing it, right? Cole can freely rotate, so he's got to work back from mount. Cole doing a great job getting his leg in. Ryan throwing some funky shit Cole's way.
Oh yeah, funk roll, the ninja roll.
Look at that again. So, all right. So Ryan's leg is around Cole's there, and then he keeps him going by. That was great. I like how, I mean, that was done with full intention, right? Which you can tell, you know, this wasn't just like a, hey, let's see if it works. As soon as he gets Cole turning away, if I could pause it decently for once, we see him immediately reaching up. As soon as the back exposed, reaching up to control Cole's shoulders and close the distance between his chest and his back. Getting fancy.
Yeah, that's slick. I like that.
But yeah, he just doesn't have, I don't think he has much of a threatening position. I mean, he was in a great control position, and he got there in a really, really great way. Cole's just doing exactly what he needs to do. Like this, you know, the tiny little invisible moves that just come with time to keep his arm safe. You know, let's go back a little bit further. Like, you know, right here, he's postured up. Here, you think he's in trouble for an arm bar, but he keeps his arm, you know, positioned in the right way. Keep his elbow safe. Ends up in a top side control.
Yeah, I think that's one of the armbar escapes or armbar hand positions, whatever, that kind of often gets overshadowed by the hitchhiker. Because it's kind of like the reverse hitchhiker. You have to, if you put your thumb in the opposite pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, hitchhiker, you would be going out like that onto the, I would say, in this case, Ryan's right hip would be the hitchhiker escape. But you can also put your thumb down into the opposite pocket, into the left pocket, and your arm is safe in that. And that's exactly what Cole did. Basically, like escaping arm bars, you can take advantage of the hip position, or the braking mechanics don't necessarily work very well if your thumb is pointed either down into the near side pocket or up in the far side pocket.
Justin's throwing shade.
What's that?
Justin said all of Cole's moves during class are invisible. So let's watch Brooke and Austin here. Killer hip toss. Really, really good. So a nice, I wouldn't call it like a heavy overhook, right? She's got him by the elbow, pulling down, weighing him up. Good deep underhook all the way across. She's getting her hips nice and far across his hips. And from here, I mean, we can see he's in Kazushi, right? His one foot's off the mat. His other foot is on his tiptoes. She hits the turn. And just, you know, again, notice her posture, right? She's hinged at the hips. Her legs are nice and high, which makes it, you know, which raises the fulcrum over which Austin is falling. So it's going to be much harder for him to keep his toes planted or to keep his feet planted Looks rough. Looks rough. That was good though. The really, really good throw from Brooke. And you know, point of note here, when she lands, she stays pretty close to perpendicular with him, right? Which is going to shut down his ability to re-roll. We can see which way his knees and his toes are pointing in this direction. That's usually, you know, right after a throw. When you're pointing in that direction, that's your time to hit a re-roll and actually, you know, take their takedown away. But when they stay perpendicular to you, it makes it much more difficult. If her hips were down by his hips and her feet were down by his feet, it would be a lot easier for him to roll her over at that point. So we got Luke and Matt with a little flow roll here.
Yeah, I don't know how hard they were training, but I know Matt has a hurt neck.
Gotcha.
Jeez, Cole.
Right? God, use technique. It's just all muscle. I'm gonna get a text from him later when he hears me say that line. Nice Kimura attack. Hell yeah.
Come up. You gotta come up.
God. We'll look at this a little bit deeper when they get untied. Man, I want to see him use it. Even if he doesn't get it, I want to see him use it for something.
Go, go, go. You gotta go.
Rip it out.
There it is. Got the sweep.
Good positioning.
Very nice.
And then, yeah, it's like, that's, you know, had you gotten your knee free, I think you would have been able to easily finish that. So let's look at this whole setup. So, I mean, right off the bat, solid positioning. Where people mess up so much with the with these Kimuras from like close guard, especially from here, it might be a little bit easier. The head, they forget about the head position of their opponent, and like, you know, we talk about how when you put hands on the mat, they're vulnerable. You know, that's where, you know, I know when we teach like kids classes, right? We talk about, you know, hands on the mat. It's like your hands are in the water and there's a shark coming, and that's, you know, that's why we always drill into them. Hands on the mat are vulnerable. But I think when you get, you know, more advanced, you see that, you go for it, and all of a sudden there's just a forehead on your sternum and you can't get to the angle. So you've gotten around the head, you've gotten the arm isolated right here. I would have loved to have seen the finish. I think, let's see, I can't say I get Kimuras from here often, so it's I have to think through this, but I think since your hips are more under Cole's hips, it would be a little bit more difficult. You'd almost have to like let him transition to side control. Would you agree with that?
That's 100% exactly what I was gonna say. Yes.
Yeah. So it looks like, you know, you're trying to fight you're trying to do two things at once, which is either keep a sweep threat or the submission threat. And yeah, I'm just speaking from, you know, kind of visualizing this, like you might have to pick one or the other here.
Your right hook is in the way, right? Your right leg is being hooked by Cole's hook, right, by his left leg, and he's doing that because he knows that if he lets it go, then he's going over.
Yeah, it's all like, it's that hook of yours is limiting your hip mobility. And I think that if you let it go, another thing that hip mobility is going to let you do is close this space here, right here. Your elbow, right? When I go over these, I really stress this with you guys. Your elbow should be close to his elbow. Like, you want to slide your elbow as close to his elbow as you can to get like really, really solid leverage. And like, it's just good braking mechanics. So with your hook in, it's not letting your hips move, and that's going to limit your ability to, I think, get your elbow more like closer into position. So a few little things here, and then honestly from here, this is great. Like, you're so close to getting the sweep from here. It's hard to say, it's hard to say why you didn't get it. I think Cole maybe is using his legs as a decent counterweight to, his knees are all the way out in front of him. If he had if he had more straight legs down his back, he probably would have gotten over pretty easily. So yeah, you may have had to disengage like right here, getting your legs out and trying to hip up, or get your hips across to a more of a side control position. I like that you re-engaged there, like you felt like you still had an opportunity, so hey, why not?
But as soon as his right leg was free, he was able to get the turn.
Yeah. And then right here, like this just comes from awareness. Your right leg is free, but then Cole manages to keep it. And that's going to make it difficult for you to get to where you really want to be in a Kimura, which is this leg stepping over the head to control the head and shoulders. And then, doing all the arm mechanics I was talking about, sliding your elbow close. But with your right leg trapped here, it's going to limit your hip mobility. It's going to make it hard for you to get up in this direction to get to the real pinning position you want to be in. But man, I know that seems like a lot of nitpicking. All of that though, that was just a great Kimura threat the whole way through, and it got you to a top position. What the fuck is Mitch doing? Mitch trying to give you the fulcrum. Yeah, killer work.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And you used a really good submission threat to advance your position. Even if you didn't get the finish, you still moved forward, so that was good. And then lost it when Cole decided to reroll you. Trying to work in Upa, and I'm not mad about it. Cole's heavy, but I mean, I genuinely feel like this is one of those times where it's good to remember it, right? It looks like you hit the upper body, you blocked his arm, then you're like, oh shit, I gotta get his leg too. You'd probably already kind of telegraphed your intention, so Cole started to lean really heavy over your right side because he knows you're trying to take him to the left. But either way, good thinking. That's like an Upa in the wild that could work. It's not just like the Upa you learn as a fresh white belt, you try to hit and then you give up on it. Like, that's when it really does work. What's up with Steven and Sean? Looks like Steven was on his back for a while. Came from a north-south, rolls up to turtle. Steven's super high up on the shoulders. Kind of in almost like a top lock. Or reverse top lock. Hand fighting. crossbody.
Switch it back.
Looked like a lot of tactical decisions being made, like a lot of tactical changes, and then did what is kind of my favorite way to strangle, which is throw so much at them that they forget that they need to keep their chin down.
Yeah.
And you find the space you need. I mean, he basically turned into it there. It looks like you're a little bit over the chin, so it might be more of a mandible strangle, which still sucks. But yeah, that was like a Luke kitchen sink approach, you know. Cole's working his own arm attack now. See what you do with Pat here.
Can't.
Turn the chat off for a second. You were throwing a dorsal Kimura attack at him here.
Yeah, I finally got out of his fucking half guard. Took me forever. And then he almost re-rolled me. So yeah, I'm trying to get rid of that his right arm here. Trying to figure out what I'm going to be able to do in order to start setting up a submission. Because he's keeping his elbows very tight, and he's framing really well on my chest. That's right. So I started, yeah. So I was gonna go for the armbar, and then I was able to switch it up and hit the rear triangle.
Nice. I like how slowly you just kind of finished from there.
Yep.
So just working to get the leg configuration, and I could feel it on my own arm right now watching this, like just how tight your Kimura grip is, but you're only using it for control. Like the elbow, his elbow's not getting away from your torso.
Right.
You're taking your time. You've switched your hands, because we never just let go of a hand position without going 2-on-1 first, right? So you switch your arms, you extract that hand to do a foot assist or a hand assist for your foot, and then you're good to go. It's just nice, controlled, deliberate movements every step of that. Spin up with these two. So Joe and Cole are in this like mounted triangle standoff here. This is some armchair quarterbacking for me, because who knows how heavy Cole is on Joe right now. Like, Cole's got some weight based out here. He's got his hips over Joe. His foot's planted. So I don't know how immobile Joe's hips might be, but this could be a good situation where Joe, if you shrimp your butt out this way and pulled this knee in, to like you could find yourself in like an X guard leg entrance and really disrupt Cole's ability to base out from here and get safe and turn it into a sweep. It's like, see, you're already kind of doing it. It looks like his foot is, like his hip and his foot is kind of like sandwiching your hips right now. But if you planted your feet and managed to shrimp your hips out, I think you could. Well, definitely at this point, you could take top position. There you go. Yeah, looks like you were trying to work a leg attack. All right, I'll shut up.
That's good.
Oh, where's my?
So Mitch had, he just did a funk roll or a ninja roll.
Little Nogi Berimbolo. From the front, right? And then yeah, he's got his left leg under Ryan's right leg. Yeah, it's some like Mikey Musumeci.
Yeah.
Except you get pants grips, and it's going to be a lot harder for Ryan to do what he did.
Yep.
In fact, let's just slow that down. So if they were in a gi, right, Mitch could control his legs a lot better and prevent this turn. I probably would have taken his back there, but way to stay slippery. Steven with a nice knee bar. See how he entered here. Nice.
Really good.
Well timed. That was great. Strong round. Big shout out to Brandon, working with Steven right now behind Cole's fat head. He's been putting in a lot of work, and it's really showing in his movement. Oh, Joe, you're in for it now, bud. Is that Joe? No. Where's that Sean? I think that's Joe. No, that's Sean. My bad. Joe's over on the side. Nice try, Austin. Sneaky little mount take from there. If you could have gotten Cole's head behind his hips, you would have had mount for sure. Like, you looked like you were setting up, or you had a collar tie there. But yeah, hey, good. You got a guard pass, so just do that one more time. This little crescent step around the side. I like that you're not jumping across right to mount right away. You're using that neon belly to pin him and progress from there. Brooke made a big mistake mercy gripping with Luke there. Let's look at it one more time. This is why you don't mercy grip with really anyone, but definitely not Luke. Now, what did Caleb get? Maybe just some shoulder funkiness there. What was that? Was he just... Caleb, do you remember what happened here? Because it doesn't maybe there's like a strange Americana going on. Oh, wrist lock, you piece of shit. Nice. No, it's a good move. Yo.
Yep.
Caleb just wrist locked Sean. It was dirty.
Oh, nice.
And you missed, look at Luke and Brooke up here behind the,
Oh,
or up on the
yeah, I
side.
was... the mercy grips. He just, like, collapsed her down.
Yeah, like her legs gave out.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I was over on the sidelines there, I think talking to Brandon or something, or somebody. I'm glad Sean was willing to stand with Caleb.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got more people that are willing to stand. Look at that, going for a leg. Nice.
That's really nice. Hey man, wrist locks are good. You just can't compliment a wrist lock first. You gotta, you know, make the person feel bad about doing it, but it is a perfectly valid, legitimate submission.
Then you get to make fun of the person who tapped to it.
Right, exactly. That's the real embarrassing part is getting tapped to a wrist lock.
Nice, Caleb.
Hell yeah. Let's look at that again.
Way to use that.
And look at that, he's even getting it from a crossface, which is kind of disheartening to see. That
It really is.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But that's I mean, I guess, you know, since we're saying that shouldn't be doable, let's look at what happened. So I think it's largely because Sean's knee drifts away, right? Like, I mean, Caleb reaches and gets some leverage on it. I like how you even like grip, like you use the back of the wrist to kind of like sweep in. And yeah, that was honestly my first thought, Caleb, with that, you know, you saying he has a mean crossface. I'm curious why it wasn't enough to shut you down. I don't know. I guess the more I look at this, like, look at what you're doing with your legs here. Watch. Right? You're starting to bring, like, you're turning your hips, you're pointing your knees that way. You're kind of bringing him up with your legs to make your seemingly shallow grip, I think, much more effective, even with the crossface. So while you maybe couldn't turn and then dig on it, you were able to bring his hips towards you so that you didn't have to take your head towards the hips. Kind of, I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does. If I had to speculate like a root cause, it's because I don't think Caleb's left arm was up very high. I think Caleb actually had an underhook on that other side.
Yeah.
And I think that gave, and I think that if Sean would have used a head and arm capture, right, to drive his weight up, you see how low Caleb's arm is there? He's not feeling any sort of pressure. Even though the crossface sucks, he still has quite a lot of mobility. He could have used that, Sean could have used that crossface to drag the head over and connect it to the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would have been more difficult. Luke often rolls me, you know, here by because I'm transitioning to a full connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'll get the underhook, I'll have a crossface, and I'm going to make the connection and ride up the body. And he'll catch me right in that transition. I think even Caleb has caught me in that transition too. So yeah, I think that if I had to guess, that would have been like the root cause. But everything you're saying, the angle, is definitely the reason why he's able to scoop the leg and take him the other way.
Yeah, no, that's a good catch. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, once he gets that right off balance. And even though you didn't end up in a good position for like an immediate leg attack, you immediately came up on top, which is super important. Dangers of wrestling up. Look at Austin trying his damnedest just to move Cole. You gotta fish hook Cole next time. Really yank him over. I think Steven's just like torturing Brandon right now, continually making him work back escapes. Yeah, Brandon brought up a good, kind of a good point yesterday when I was rolling with him. Well, let's see. Before I talk too long about that, let's see what Caleb did here. So, just onto the back. Again, looks like maybe a mandible. Yeah. So for anybody in the chat who attended the Preet Mickelson seminar, you know, he talked a lot about these defensive postures. You know, the two that we went over being used in back escapes, and I don't even necessarily want to say in back escapes, because we didn't really do too much. If I remember correctly, we didn't really do too much back escaping from like a really technical level. What he taught us were defensive postures to help buy you time, keep your neck safe for a bit while you can then start working your strangles, or while you can start working your escapes, preventing strangles, all that stuff. So, you know, if you want to like work on his stuff, by all means, just remember it wasn't an escape in and of itself, and every move, every posture has an answer. So you can't get too static when you find yourself working those positions. Just give Caleb his dues here. Front headlock attack from Sean. Caleb's really
similar. Yeah, very similar. Deep half scoop into a leg entry.
Yeah.
Really like that.
And I mean, you know, keep in mind, pretty serious reap here. Really serious reap right there.
A little bit.
Yeah. Can't reap really much harder than what you did. But it has its place. So, I mean, it is a technique in and of itself. Just keep that in mind for anybody watching, you know, depending on who your training partner is. Like, I wouldn't want to see someone reaping that hard on like Brandon, for example, who we were just talking about. He's, you know, 2 months into jiu-jitsu. He may not be able to get his leg safe, but, you know, Sean knows, I think Sean knows what's going on there when it happens. What was up with Cole there? Head kicking Steven.
Try and get around the leg.
Yeah, second time we've seen Steven try to use that inversion into a knee bar. And he was in kind of a 50-50 there. Backside 50-50 rather. Gets the knee bar.
Yep. Yeah, the knee bar.
All right, well, good to know. Steven's going to be doing that to us. What happened with you and Luke here?
You gotta watch this. I stand up. I try to stand up.
Yeah, I don't think you. I mean, it didn't look like anything malicious. It looked like you were just doing the move and exposing the leg. So I'm not calling you out on it as a bad thing. Just got to recognize it.
That was a solid arm triangle. I haven't been arm triangled like that in quite some time.
Looked pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, just the way that he had me in position there.
Throws you
when he
over.
flattened me out.
Yeah.
it was deep there.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he really took a lot of time getting there. I mean, if you tapped that early, like his body was already against yours. He hadn't like created space or anything. Were you going straight arm there?
I was just trying to get him to react somehow.
Oh, skipped ahead. Oh yeah, and like I said at the beginning, we're in Mount Week, so let's see how
He kept
Cole
going to steam the lock on me.
Mount. Oh really? He got me with one of those last week. I was kind of pissed. I'm like, whatever. Oh, and before I forget, for any of our subscribers in the chat, remember your Twitch Prime only works for a month, so if it has expired, please subscribe again if you like what we're doing.
So Joe, he winds up passing my guard, okay, but he passes it on the opposite side that he actually wanted to.
But Luke?
Luke, yeah, so he starts going over, body lock passing onto my left side, his right. So he's already got it set up. And so I'm starting, you see how my right arm goes in and starts to create a frame against his face.
Yeah, this is what you were talking about with Joe earlier. I got you.
Yep. And I'm pushing over here. Now, Luke just knows to switch immediately, and I know that he's going to switch immediately, but what I didn't anticipate was being able to turn my right knee down, so he lets my knee collapse.
I was gonna say, as soon as that happened, that's when he knew to go.
Right around.
Yeah.
And then that was it. So that was just like he planned that. That was all premeditated, the way that he did it. And then you'll be able to see some good leg lock defense here.
Oh God. Yeah, this is a great defense.
I'm smiling at
Hide your toes in your butt crack.
Yeah, that does look bad.
I mean,
it didn't feel that bad.
Look at early on, it looked bad. There, where he's basically got your foot under your butt. I don't see
That's
how.
where I was trying to get it to go. Like I was trying to feed my foot to my butt.
Yeah, like where was it? Here. Even then, I mean, like that looks awkward and terrible.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if you think about it from like the same mechanics we talk about Kimura's, getting the elbow down close to the joint and all that. He can't be further from your ankle. Like his elbow could be further from your ankle. So he doesn't have the same level of torque you get when you've just got the ankle wrapped up.
Right.
But typically when you attack a toe hold like that, you've got your own legs. Like Luke would have, his legs controlling your hip in some way.
Hip control.
And then body or arms up at the end of the leg. But now since he's cross-side, he can't use his legs for hip control. So he's almost trying to bring everything in and then attack it, which is an interesting adaptation to try. Did you need to wipe your foot after that swipe? I don't follow, Brandon. I think he's got a question for you. Oh, after your toes went in your butthole.
Oh yeah. No, it was good for a day or so.
Yeah. He just kept training and stepped all over the mat. Cole and Steven trying his damnedest to get an Americana. Yeah, please put in the chat what you meant toe holds are great, man. They're just a well-timed, well-executed toe hold is annoying. You know, ankles are just the wrists of the leg. It's like the wrist lock of the leg.
Some might say that.
Yeah. Legs are just the arms of the lower body, man. If we ever make like t-shirt merchandise, that'll be the first design. It's alright, doctors can give you a new face. Get into a mounted crucifix. Let's switch to mount. Yeah, I think I've said this before, like in a stream a long time ago, but it's just considering we've seen a few Americana attempts tonight, and we just saw Cole in like more of a mounted crucifix. The mounted crucifix is where I think I prefer to hit Americanas, because it takes away one of the fundamental like escapes for the Americana, which is reaching across your body to get your arm that's under attack, right? But if you're in a mounted crucifix, you know, a shin pinning your bicep, not only can you not reach across the body, you can't even turn your shoulders to it to get your arm back into your center line. You can't take your shoulders to it. So you completely, I'd say you more effectively isolate the shoulder for an Americana with a mounted crucifix. So like, you know, they're fun to hit from mount, sure, but I feel like you just leave too much wiggle room when you try to attack them from mount. Apparently there's a Topo Chico hard seltzer margarita now to add into the Wednesday and Sunday night stream beverages. I don't know if they sell them down here though. I saw billboards for them up in Massachusetts, but not down here.
Topo Chico?
Well, it's because they make Topo Chico hard seltzers, which
Yeah.
I don't think are that good. But now they make apparently they make a hard seltzer with like margarita flavor or something weird, which I was told were pretty good. Oh, look at Ryan hitting like that little De La Hiva sweep.
Oh yeah.
Let's hit that one more time. Look at the setup. So he's got. Let's see what kind of hand control he gets here. So
Grab
he does.
to the leg.
Yeah, interesting. This is so I don't know if Sean maybe hasn't been hit with this one before, but I like Ryan's depth on the ankle here. Like it's knee to ankle. He's pushing with his hips behind, going from the inside out with his hips on Sean's knee, and then Sean bases out there with his hand. I think if Ryan had a cross side grip, like I don't think he needs the scoop grip with the right arm on the leg. It's not a bad thing, but if he could establish wrist control on Sean's right arm with his own right arm, he completely takes away the base on the entire right half of Sean's body. I mean, either way, great, well executed. I love that sweep. I think Steven just pulled a dick move, kind of literally. and just hopped over Pat's seated guard. Kills white belt for 2 rounds. That's how you get stripes, man. You get beaten by Luke so bad that he feels bad for you. He gives you stripes so that you don't quit. Steven with the straight ankle lock. Almost belly down too. Yeah, pretty much belly down. I would like to see someone playing De La Riva on Ryan and seeing how Ryan handles playing defensively against De La Riva.
Against De La Riva, right?
Yeah. I feel like Ryan and Sean are solid training partners, like for each other. That was an interesting little exchange here. Really great movement. Nice. Oh, Caleb.
I don't think I finished. No, I didn't finish this.
Well, it looks pretty miserable.
I sat there for what felt like quite a while. I was able to get my leg free.
Yeah, he's tucking his chin, getting himself some space. I'm gonna go back a second with Steven and Pat again. Let's see how they got here. So Steven had to dismount. Gets to a dorsal Kimura position. And that sets up his armbar. Okay. Joe, I like your intention with Luke in trying to control the legs to get around, kind of working this bit of a Toriando style, looser attempt to pass. It's hard to bull rush into him. Good, going standing.
Standing. Yeah.
Looks like he just got you off balance. Yeah, Caleb, fighting out of arm triangles, like, it sucks. What I hate about it most is you're at their mercy. Like, you have to convince them that they don't have it and they need to give up. So the whole time you're just getting your jaw crushed and trying not to have a wet rash guard muffle you. It's just miserable. Because, like, I mean, it doesn't look like Caleb could back his elbow off of that or anything, and he just has
pretty stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, he just has to convince you that you're not going to get it, so you need to switch to something else. And just eat the pain the whole time.
Yeah, I even went back to try and readjust and mount, and he still wasn't letting me have it, so.
It's good to see Ryan moving as much as he is post knee issues, yeah. Like, this is the most mobile I've seen him. It's really good. Yeah, that's the right idea, Caleb. Just keep your arteries open.
Yeah.
Cole and Matt up in the corner. I feel like Cole was trying so hard to get over these legs.
Yeah.
And Matt just stayed ready, and then caught the one leg, got his ankle.
Oh
That's
man.
a,
Yep.
that's super deep knee bar. Yeah, and that's so. Actually, let's look at that for a second, because I don't disagree with what Cole is doing here. I think a head, like a head and arm control. So Cole's got kind of an overhook and a pretty ineffective overhook right now. Like it's not wrapping anything up so much. But if he had an underhook on, with this arm, he's got his head on the other side. When he's working in that position, getting his hips up high and then trying to foot pummel, and use like that Gordon Ryan style light passing, like that's a good posture to work from. But you've got to have the right upper body control to work that, and it also helps. I think Gordon talks about that in like his instructionals or a match breakdown or something. Having like a leg staple, where you've already kind of like you have to have some control over the hips, and then you can start to leg pummel yourself over. Otherwise, you can get elevated and swept or you have your legs out for attack like Matt switches to. But you got to get the right upper body gripping down first as well. I could see you trying to set up a wing sweep here.
Yep.
Thinking about it.
He's getting, he's already, because I used to get him with that quite a lot in the early days, and he positions his body such that I just can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
Try and set up a shoulder crunch here, but I wind up in head and arm control, and I can't quite get him turned over. Can't get him extended out enough to get him turned over.
I just want to point out with Sean and Ryan here. So Ryan gets set up into a really, really good armbar position. Here he digs pretty deep and is dead set on getting to his own back, putting Sean on his back, and finishing the armbar from there. It's just a pretty far way to, like, it's a long way to fall back, Just keep in mind, like, you can roll forward here too, right? You can roll forward. I would establish elbow to elbow connection with your left arm, which I think Ryan's doing right now. And I would front roll over my left shoulder so that my head is going towards the feet, and with my free right arm I would hook the waist, get a nice tight waist grip, and as I forward roll, pull the waist with me and get him on his back that way. I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with trying to like grip and rip right here. I just don't like my head being that far away from the mat and being able to be like whipped down, like if Sean decided to, return his own back to the mat very quickly and like, or I could see myself getting whiplash with someone like Luke if I tried to do that, Don't be afraid to utilize a forward roll there. You could still get a great, like you end up in the same position right here. You've just gone about it in a bit more controlled way. Again, how you did it obviously isn't wrong. You got the tap. That's the important part. Just don't want to see anybody's head bouncing off the mat. That's where I tried to straight ankle Luke and got owned. Oh, what you were telling me about. Hold on. Let's go find that. Joe was telling me he tried to straight ankle Luke earlier, and then I think got straight ankled himself. Like he tried to sit back on it.
That's pretty par for the course.
Yeah, definitely happened to me plenty of times. Maybe it was further back. Oh yeah, here we go. A little further.
And he caught the left leg.
Scoop grip on the leg. And Luke's like, you know what? How about you just give me your leg?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There's a shared experience in this group. Austin going back for more punishment. Pat working the bear trap. Which actually I shouldn't say that because I think bear trap's an actual move that like Eddie Cummins has done, or somebody does something called a bear trap. I just know I can never get my leg out of his half guard.
It's I fought for 5 minutes in the previous round to get out.
Caleb's
nice.
just like, whatever.
Yeah, we talked about this afterward.
I'm gonna just take my leg out.
He poses the same dilemma as Luke, right? And same as me too, but I just don't have the pressure on in order to force the legs open. Oh no, I lied. No, what? Let's go back. Look at what Caleb does to the guard here. So you see how he's got how Pat has the inside leg wrapped around.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb's gonna reach through and grab his foot and pull it.
Just kind of opens it up
To threaten, he threatens a calf slicer, is what it is. So, the inside leg is coming and wrapped around. If Caleb reaches through and pulls on Pat's right leg, it puts him in a really awkward spot for a calf slicer. So Pat's aware of that, and like when he goes to pull on that ankle, he kicks his foot away, and when he kicks his foot away, Caleb's able to step back.
Clever. Caleb, do you concur? Or are we giving you too much credit? In fact, I just want to think about this for the calf slicer from here. I mean, I guess like the calf slicer entry that I would see would be from like the ninja roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, which is effectively where he's at, right? Just
well, no, because you would. I feel like Caleb would want to roll out this side of the body, right?
Yeah, I guess for the ninja roll, yes, it would be.
I always have it's one of those moves I have to do.
I know. Yeah, same here.
Get this up. I mean, either way, whatever, man. That was smart, Caleb. It worked. And now Pat's like, great. Everybody's gonna attack my feet. It's how we get better. Iron sharpens iron. Nobody sharpens iron with iron. I hate that saying so much. Watch some blacksmith start chiming in the chat. Dude, I really dig how Ryan works this move. His like barambolos and rolls and stuff. Yep.
Look.
Cole's all wet.
Slick.
Like, why would you think that sharpening something with the same substance is a good idea?
Not.
I'll never let it go.
Yeah. And somebody who hasn't taken materials class.
Yeah, right? Do you know Mohs or Moore's hardness scale?
Yeah.
That's just scratch resistance too. Now I sound like an idiot.
Vickers and all that.
Yeah. Vickers, Burnell,
Rockwell.
Rockwell.
Yeah.
Because one measure's not good enough. We got to make 6 different ones.
Yep.
Look at this little Mexican standoff.
Yeah.
From is that racist? Caleb's Mexican. Let's see who gets it. Pat. I think Pat got it, right?
Pat get it?
Looked like it.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he did, yeah.
Caleb didn't have a grip on the foot.
Let's see. At what point? Let's see. Joe's saying he got mount on loop. Looks like he got. I think he bargained with you and let you have 3/4 mount. Oh, okay, there you got out to mount. Okay. And then he just decided, not anymore.
Didn't Steven say something about the roll with Matt? What did he say about the roll with Matt in the chat? I can't remember.
I don't know. Must not be important.
Oh, hip bump. The hip bump sweep.
Oh, yeah. Did that already happen, Steven?
Here.
Oh, look at that.
Perfect timing. Literally.
So right there.
And literally.
Yeah, glad you remembered.
Yeah. Damn.
Let's just look at the timing on this too. So Steven's chilling, butt to heels, right? That's the exact time you do. I think as soon as Steven realized what was about to happen, it was too late.
Yep.
So he's like, ah, shit. Wait. Yeah, I mean, that's just like right there a good example of, I don't know, any like upper belts who've had talks with like the white belts and the beginners, and you know, you have to like kind of pep talk them into reps and this and that. Like, you got to get your reps in. Like, Matt did nothing that has not been taught about a hip bump sweep there. You know, it's
right.
It's exactly what you drill when you drill a hip bump sweep, whether you're a white belt or a black belt. And it was just well timed, saw the opportunity, took it, you know. Just all about getting the reps in. Trying to set it up again.
Yeah, I'm glad he's moving. Like, he's actually training now. He's good.
Yeah, it looks like he feels comfortable with his movement, which is huge. Drinking a protein shake over there? Your shirt off?
Me?
Your Danny DeVito body?
That was water. It's peak male performance right there.
This is what it looks like. You may not be happy.
That was sick.
Slick footwork from Ryan there. Let's take it back a little ways. In fact, let's slow it down.
Little feint step. Walks.
Cole's doing the right thing, tracking him.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
That was very slick. Unfortunately, it happened after the round, so it doesn't count. But no, I mean, like, that's killer. Like, I think we've talked recently about that, like feinting and the crescent stepping and all that stuff. And like, perfect example. Ryan steps to the right. Cole adjusts. He just pummels his leg right in front and right to the hip and cuts 90. Like,
Yep.
simple guard pass. So effective. All just from footwork. Like,
Yep.
just how good boxing comes from, perfect footwork. That was great guard pass just from footwork.
These last rounds are kind of funky. I don't know if they were. I think they were just like half rounds. Like people thought that they had a couple more in them or something like that, and wound up training. So I think it's
Just half-assing it.
yeah.
I don't think Ryan has trained Gi. Yeah, Justin. And he's been. I mean, he might. He's just been like, he was sidelined. He started coming and like observing and hanging out, and then like dipping his toe in just to like see how his knee was healing. I think he was dealing with an injury. But yeah, predominantly, I don't know. Has he been to a Thursday class?
I don't know.
I just think he's done
tell
no-gi.
you tomorrow, but I'm pretty sure he's no-gi.
Oh man, he
At
had a
least
little.
recently.
He had a cow catcher grip there for a second. He could have taken Brandon
Mhm.
over with that. I like what Brandon was trying there. I did see. I think if Brandon had control, like he didn't have like a lock on the legs at all. So
Right.
Ryan
He
was
was
able to
using-
get up.
Shoulder pressure to try and walk around.
Yeah.
He needs to lock them hips down.
Yeah, if you got a body lock grip around the hips there, or if he was forced a little bit lower and maybe hugged the legs instead, could have done something with this guard pass. But good movement, getting there. Steven again with the knee bar inversion.
Nice switch on the leg,
From Sean.
Sean. Yeah.
Goes.
Doesn't have hip control. That's the problem.
Yeah.
For a finish at least. But I mean, good awareness to start switching legs.
Yeah, for sure. That was smooth. I didn't even see it until you mentioned it. Really good awareness from Brandon there a second ago. You see that? I think,
Mm-hmm. The arm.
yeah, Ryan was almost to an omoplata position. And the Brandon's like, hey, I can go that way.
Nice
Solid.
pass. Yep.
It's a triangle.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
but
with
it's
the
a no
arm in.
triangle.
Bullshit.
Yep.
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah. So Sean did have both arms out.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that sucks. He was like, what was that? It's definitely a strangle, but I mean, the time Steven has done it to me, I just feel a forearm like digging into my muscles. It fucking hurts.
Oh yeah.
It's such an uncomfortable submission. Log splitter. See if he uses it to enter legs or what. Oh, okay, cool. Killer.
Right on. It was a fun night.
Yeah, good stuff today, guys. I like it. I like seeing how. I mean, like we saw it with Steven. I think there were a few other examples, but just the consistent like consistently trying some attacks, right? It look like, I mean, Ryan with his kind of like Berimbolo entries to the back and all that, working it, honing it, sharpening that stone, not sharpening iron with iron because that's bullshit and it doesn't work. But just trying to work on the on getting the finer points down of these techniques by hitting them over and over. Really good stuff, guys. As always, you know how to support us here. If you like what we're doing, please subscribe, follow us. If you're lurking in the chat, we really appreciate it. I think we'll be getting back to some more regular schedule. Summer's always hard. Summer's a lot of travel, so I think we got a backlog of some key footage to go over too. So we'll have to.
We do. We have at least one in the bank. Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll get some more tomorrow.
Good stuff. Yeah, and subscribe over on thank you, Steven. Subscribe over on YouTube. It helps us a lot there as well. Bring any questions you guys have to class, any funky moves that you got caught in or you want to go over. We're always happy to talk about it with you guys, so bring it up there. What else? Anything else? Are you teaching tomorrow?
I'm teaching tomorrow. Yep.
Cool. Thank you, Justin. Yeah, we will see you guys then. Trim your nails, do your laundry, don't be stinky and disgusting. And yeah, talk to you guys soon.
Catch you later.